So now here's our video hint for step 2. When we left off, we had gotten to the point that we have 3 x's on one side of our balance beam and equation, and we have 9 on the other side. Unfortunately, we are still not yet isolated. Remember, for our variable to be isolated, there has to be just one. This guy is still hanging out with a couple of buddies, so we have got to get him all by himself. You'll also hopefully recall from our previous discussion of inverse operations that when this 3 is sitting next to the x, that means multiplication. 3 sitting next to a number, sitting next to a variable means 3 times the variable x. And the opposite or inverse of multiplication is to divide. So we're going to take those 3 x's and we are going to divide them by 3. And of course, that if I took those 3 x's and I'm going to kind of divide them up by like building a wall in between them. I'm taking those 3 x's and I'm dividing them into 1, 2, 3 groups, and each group now just has an x left over. Well, once again, those properties of equality. If I divided that side of my balance beam up into 3 different sections, I'm going to have to divide this side of my balance beam up into 3 different sections. So I'm going to build a couple walls here too, so that I have 3 groups. 9 divided into 3 groups is going to be 3. And I actually have kind of a nice little visual here that 1x is equal to 3, because I can tell that. Now this x lines up with 3, and that x lines up with 3. So x is equal to 3. If I were going to be translating what I just did onto my paper, because I know you guys don't have a nice little balance beam kind of thing right here to draw it on. So let's say I'm right here on my paper. I want to translate what I just did over onto what I'm going to turn into the teacher. So my second step when I did mine is that I divided both sides by 3. And to sketch a little model, I would probably do something like this, where I just have an x lined up with 1, 2, 3. And another x lined up with 1, 2, 3. And I would just kind of draw like a little arrow to them. And another x lined up with a 1, 2, and a 3. So I know that x is equal to 3. That is what I personally would turn in and give to my teacher.